What's up, YouTube? Your boy back once again with another sport topic, and today we're going to talk some basketball. Orlando Magic basketball. I know it's been a minute, it's been a long time. I've been real busy. I should have been did this. I've been real busy. I ain't got a chance to get on here. But never mind all that. Check out the fresh Penny Hardaway. You know what I'm saying? It's my first Magic jersey, by the way. Like, one, I'm from Texas. I live in Texas. So we don't run across too many Magic stuff down here. Like, even when Tracy McGrady was balling, when Dwight was taking the Magic to the finals, you didn't walk into the mall or it's like the Lids and the Foot Lockers and stuff like that, the places to sell jerseys, and run across Magic jerseys too often. Like, that was rare. You know what I'm saying? So for me to finally caught one, because now they're starting to play show some throwbacks. They got these and the Shaqs, and they dropped a T-Mac one. I don't really like the T-Mac one they got because it's blue. I want the white T-Mac one because I like the way that white one look, because it don't look like how the jersey actually looked when they played. So that's why I don't really like the way that blue one looked. But never mind all that. That ain't got nothing to do with this name fashion segment right now. We're gonna talk about what I want to talk about is specifically what I think the potential is when you talk about this Orlando Magic team, especially when I'm talking about Isaac and Mo Bamba. You know, the combination of Bamba, Isaac, and Gordon, which the Magic have AKA big by using the B for Bamba, the I for Isaac, and the G for Gordon. It's cheesy as hell, but that's the only nickname they came up with so far. We need to, as Magic fans, we need to come up with a better nickname, especially for the two people I'm about to talk about, mostly, and Isaac and Mo Bamba. We need to come up with a better nickname. So comment below if you have thought of some better nicknames. Comment below. But one I want to talk about these two is, now I know that I was on the whole Trae Young train, and that's more so position, and also, like I said, I think he's a creator. I think he's gonna struggle in Atlanta because of the emphasis is gonna be on him. If he was in Orlando, he's going to get the ball to Gordon and Isaac. I'm going to talk about this in a minute. And that would help him because I think his best attribute was to facilitate, not the scoring. That's what he got hyped over. I think he was a better passer than he was a scorer. But he ain't a Magic, he Atlanta Hawk. And I think he's going to struggle. And I think he might end up looking like a bust because they're going to have him try to do too much down there. But he ain't a Magic, so ain't no reason to even worry about him. But we're going to talk about this potential, especially between Isaac and Mo Bamba. And in my humble opinion, I do believe after watching, I know it was Summer League, but after watching some of the stuff during Summer League and watching how they interact with each other, I do believe that these two could possibly be a Twin Towers 2.0, like the Hakeem Olajuwon and Ralph Sampson was in Houston back in the 80s. And Dream is one of my favorite players of all time. Like, he's up there, he's in my top 5. I got Dream actually second behind T-Mac. It's T-Mac and then Dream is my two favorite players of all time. Like Dream was special. So I'm not saying that Bamba is Dream. I'm not saying that Isaac is Dream. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. Do I want them to be? Absolutely. I would love for them to be as good as Dream. But I'm just saying to have two guys who, I mean, we already know Mo Bamba definitely is 7 foot. Isaac is right up there. He's like 10. He's like 7. I mean, not 7. I'm sorry. He's like 6'11 and a half. Ish or he's right there at that 7 foot mark. He's like, will he become a 7 footer? I think he's 21 or 20. Will he become a 7 footer? Could he grow and become a 7 footer? Could he get that half an inch or a full inch and be 7.5, 7'1"? Could he end up growing in that? Hopefully so. Or can he just play that big? Even though he's not 7 foot, can he play 7 foot basketball? And then for both of them able to be that big and tall and able to step out fluently and hit jump shots and come out to 3-point line and hit threes and play in the post and able to guard the post and guard all 5 positions. They can guards. They can come out to the perimeter and guards. Could they do this? When you wrap up that potential together, could they be similar to a Twin Towers? Because that's actually something that people don't really know about the Twin Towers when it comes to Ralph Sampson and Dream. Both of them had guard-like skills. Both Dream now they both were 7 foot. I think Ralph Sampson was 7'4" and Dream is 7'1", 7'2". But they had guard like skills, similar to these two. These two not just two big guys, just big and just hey, we just big out here. They big and can play guard like basketball. And watching the summer league now again, I know it's summer league, but when those two played, they actually played. Now the first game, against who was it? It was against the Nets. You had Isaac put up 20 points. You had him. He got a block in. What, 6 rebounds? Yeah, no, 7 rebounds. He had 7 rebounds. Mo Bamba 7 rebounds. 1 block, 11 points, and that's where he actually averaged at Texas. I think it was 12.5 or 11.5 points. So that's really where he was at. In the second game, I know that Isaac had 7 rebounds, 5 blocks, 12 points. Mo Bamba, 5 rebounds, 1 block, 11 points. So like I said, I think especially his first year, he's gonna be if he's a starter, he's gonna get that 11 to between 10, 11, 12 points. He's not don't expect him to be, and I don't think over his career, I don't think he's gonna be a 20-point plus scorer. I don't think, especially when you have Gordon and Isaac, I don't think he's gonna be asked to do that. And then against Phoenix, which was the last game that they played, because they neither Bamba and Isaac played. Now we know Isaac had minutes last year, and it's not a foregone conclusion, but more than likely Isaac is going to be a starter. For Mo Bamba not to play after the Phoenix game, with him not being hurt, it was what they say. They say he's not hurt. So him not playing no more. I think they played 2 or 3 more games, summer league games after that. For him not to play, that makes me think he might not start at the beginning of the season. But I think he's going to play significant minutes. He's going to play a lot of minutes, possibly starting minutes. He's going to play a lot of minutes. They're going to keep him in that rotation. And I don't think they want everybody to see what they're doing. And I do think that they're going to try to, by the trade deadline, they're going to find a home for Nukovic. I think that's what they do. I think they're going to end up handing the keys over to Mo Bamba by the time the trade deadline gets here. But against Phoenix, Isaac only had 10 points, Bamba only had 4. Now, Bamba did have 5 blocks. Isaac only had 2. But Bamba had 5 rebounds. 5 rebounds. Isaac had 6. Now, that game, it didn't concern me. It just brought up more than what I brought up something in my notes. And I stated this. You go back and look at my video breakdown against Mo Bamba. Not against Mo Bamba, about Mo Bamba when I was breaking down players pre-draft. That when it comes to bigger, stronger centers, when you got bigger bigs, when you got the Anthony Davises, the Boogie Cousins, the DeAndre Jordans, the DeAndre Drummonds, the Embiids, the Greek Freaks, and DeAndre Ayton. When it's coming to these bigger, bulkier guys who've been doing it in the league for a minute. Now I know Ayton did the same thing as Mo Bamba, rookie. But the other guys who've been doing it in the league for a minute, and they bigger and bulkier in the post, he can post them. Now, Capella is a little slighter frame. He's not as big as those other guys. Same thing like Rudy Gobert, not as big as those guys, but they've been doing it for a while and they can play in the post. So will he struggle against the same thing like with Hassan Whiteside? Will he struggle against those guys? I don't know. But I know the guys who are bigger and bulkier who can have post games and been doing it at a high level, like Davis, like Greek Freak, like Boogie, and then somebody like DeAndre Ayton who's bigger, like I said, he has that Dwight Howard body when he's just rocked up, just hey, I'm in here. He can push Bamba around because Bamba is a slighter frame dude. That's why him and Isaac, those are my two real knocks on them, is that both of them are slighter frame. Now Isaac, because he's playing the small forward position, it's not going to affect him as much because just like Kevin Durant is a small guy, but he doesn't play He doesn't play the type of basketball. He doesn't play in the inside that he needs to be bulking. He can still be at that high level. That's the reason why I think he's only had that 1 year. He was like that 1 year. I think in 2014 when he was hurt. 2014 or 2015. Yeah, it was 2015 because he won the MVP in 2014. In 2015 when he was hurt, that was like a foot issue or an ankle issue with the lower body. It had nothing to do with him being slighter frame. And that was the only real injury issue that KD had. Isaac plays that type of basketball. So I'm not really too much concerned about Isaac. I'm more concerned about Bamba because he's going to be playing in the post. And if you want him to be a dominant center, you need him to play in the post. That's something that Tracy McGrady told him before the draft. He said, don't just find, I know this today's NBA, they like the bigs to step out, like you be a unicorn and step out and hit threes and do all the type of fancy stuff. But if you're going to be a unicorn, be a complete unicorn. I need you to dominate that post. Stepping out hitting threes is good, but you are a center. You are a five. I need you to dominate that post in the front court. I need you to dominate that front court. I need you to take over that post. Now, of course, we don't need him to get big that he can't move and be athletic and use his skill set and athleticism, but he does need to get bigger and bulky. Like I say, Isaac actually has. If you look at the difference between Isaac in the last game in April and before the summer league, it was a difference. And then from that, I think that was like mid-June. Then from that point on to the summer league, it's another difference. So I can't wait till October and November gets here when it's straight on season workout mode. How big can he really get? And I said we don't even be super big, but just put on some more muscle mass. Like those are my real concerns with them. Real concern because other things, they got the skill sets, and the way that Isaac was playing, the way Isaac was hitting threes and pulling up and hitting jumpers, he does have that KD-esque feel. That was one of his NBA comparisons pre-draft. It was a combination of Rashard Lewis and Kevin Durant, kind of because the style of play he plays and the body type he is similar to Durant. Now I watched the YouTube video the other day. Who was the guy YouTube video that I watched? Let me check it out real quick. Yeah, it was a Basketball Zone times. It was Basketball Zone X Cowboy Kingdom. Shout out to him. Had a video about Isaac and talking about the similarities between him and Kevin Durant, talking about how he played during the summer league. Once again, I'm glad there's some good information brought there about from a non-Magic fan talking about the Magic, and some good quality information. And some of the skill sets that he showed, the combination that he showed between him and Kevin Durant for non-Magic fans are scary. Because if he taps into that potential, and then that Mo Bamba taps into that potential of being a complete unicorn, especially with the defense they play. Because I know there's one play in the summer league that they both had dual block, and even though I said that Aiden is big and he could dominate post, and Aiden had good numbers, but in the beginning of that game, they were making defensive plays, and it's not just when like blocks is actually they most, I guess it's their signature move. It's the most famous one of them all. But it's not the only one. They were making steals and making people change directions when they shouldn't be changing directions, and causing their other teammates able to get in and help make defensive plays just because of their defensive presence. Now, I know it's the summer league. They playing against people who more than likely at best going to be playing in the D-League, if not playing basketball at all. Going overseas and got playing China type of stuff. So I get that. I understand they're not playing up against the upper echelon. They're not playing against a real NBA roster. I'm not saying that they're going to come in and dominate, because they would dominate the first two Summer League games. I'm not saying they're about to come into the league and they're going to come into the season and dominate. The Magic going to be a 3 seed in the East and compete for the Eastern Conference Championship. I'm not saying that at all. I seen a post today on Instagram saying, should the Magic tank or should they or compete? Tank and compete is the motto for the season. Like, which one they gonna do? Should they tank and try to get a point guard, or should they compete and try to get what they can get as far as regular season? Me, I'm on the mindset of always competing. I know after the draft, my initial frustration was like, man, we might as well just tank. Might as well just go ahead and tank so we can get a point guard. hey, I'm a fan at the end of the day. And when I'm watching the game, I want to win. Now, if it gets to the point of the season, like when it's like you automatically, you know, you ain't gonna make the playoffs. I don't really care. Give me a better chance to get a good lottery pick. But especially you just gave Gordon $84 million. You don't give a player $84 million and be like, hey, we need the tank. Like nah, nah, compete. Like go ahead and compete. And if it gets towards the middle of the season, you know that hey, this it ain't shaking. It ain't shaking like that. It's not the year. Go ahead. But other than that, like no, we need to get into the play. We ain't been in the playoffs since 2012, since Dwight left. We need to get back in the playoffs. And with these young guys, the quote unquote bigs, like I say, please come up with a better nickname. I do like the direction they're going, the potential, because that front court is going to be solid. Because all three of them can rebound, all three of them can block. And with the size that Isaac and Mo Bamba have, and especially with the offensive skill set potential that Isaac has, like Isaac has a shot. It just needs to fall. And it falls. But he needs to get more playing time. I think Isaac could be a guy who shoots and scores 20 to 23 points a game. I think he can average 20 to 23 points a game. I think that if you run the offense through Gordon, Gordon can get 25 points a game. I believe if you run the offense through Gordon, if Gordon finally has an offense that's ran through him, because we had EP who was very ball dominant, and the ball wasn't running through him, and the whole offensive message just was muddy. It was just bad. Bad development, bad play selections. It was just bad. But if you run the offense through Gordon, I think Gordon could be a 25-point guy. And I think that Isaac, piggybacking off of that, could be a 20 to 23-point guy. He could be somewhere falling that range. So you could have two guys scoring in the mid-20s. And I think Mo Bamba could get you, when he reaches into his full potential, I think he could be a 17-point guy. So I think you can get, I think he's going to be in that for his first couple of years. It's going to be muddy. He's not going to contribute that much on offense. He's going to get you 10, 11, 12 points. But that's okay. As long as, especially if he's doing things defensively, getting 10 rebounds. If he's getting 0.3 blocks a game, or I mean, he's getting 3 blocks a game. If Isaac's doing the same thing, if Isaac's giving you 7 or 5, between 5 and 7 rebounds a game, and getting you getting you maybe a block, getting you a block and a half a game, and then you have Gordon getting the 25 and getting you 7, 8 rebounds himself a game, him getting you 5 assists a game, and then him getting you a block a game, something like that. Like, because they all play good defense, and they all are capable of getting those type of numbers. Then you working with something. Then you working with something. You still got to answer the point guard situation. The guy Briscoe, that play in some league, I want to keep my eye on him. I'm not saying he's gonna be the starter, but I will keep my eye on him. It's something about him that the way he played, I think he has some type of potential, especially if these three guys become, which we think we are, if Gordon recognizes that $84 million and competes and tries to become a most improved player, try to become an all-star, becomes an all-star, all-NBA player, and you got Mo Bamba and Isaac competing against each other for Defensive Player of the Year type stuff. If you get that type of situation going, I think that Briscoe could definitely benefit and definitely be a legitimate starting point guard if that's the case. Do I rather somebody who's a complete facilitator, like a straight up guy who can fluently give the ball to everybody, like a Steve Nash type guy, like a guy who's like a Chris Paul, a true legitimate point guard, of course. But I do want to see Gordon run his offense. Well, at least run the offense through him. I do want to see him. If you give him that money, I want to see that. And I do think that Isaac is going to take a step forward. I don't think he's going to score 20 points this year. He might get his, because this is only his second year, and it'll be his first year getting complete minutes. But you talking about probably around like 15, 16, 17 points a game, somewhere in that frame. And hopefully the Magic could be a 7, 8, 6 seed. Hopefully. But for the most part, I like what I've seen. Like I said, there are some concerns about them both getting punished with bigger guys. So there are some concerns. Will those shots actually be able to fall? We know that they both of them have the mechanics. That's the word I'm looking for. They both have the legitimate mechanics. They don't have funky Lonzo Ball shots. Like they have the mechanics for the shot. They have the mechanics, the legitimate mechanics for the shot. But can they actually fall? Will they actually fall? Because it's really more so we just haven't seen it. Because Isaac wasn't a full-fledged scorer at Florida State. It wasn't a guy like, hey, we know he coming in to score. Like we know he's coming in averaging 30 points a game, 25 points a game. Like he wasn't a scorer in Florida State because they weren't playing like that. Same thing with Mo Bamba. Mo Bamba only averaged, I think, 11.5 points at Texas. So we don't know if they're able to score because they weren't scorers in college. That doesn't mean they're not capable. It's just the college system they ran. I think Michael Jordan at North Carolina was under 20 points because the type of system that they ran in college basketball when he was at North Carolina. Not that he wasn't capable. It's what he was playing, how he was playing. That's all that was. So we gonna see if these guys get more minutes, get more opportunities. Can they play? Could they be, like I say, the next Twin Towers? I like the potential. What I've seen so far, I like the direction that those two are going. I like the direction that those two are going. I know people probably going to ask me, hey, I thought you was a Dennis Smith fan. I am a Dennis Smith fan. I still believe that I always imagined we'd draft Dennis Smith last year because you need a point guard. Because, look, a year later, you still need a point guard. You're going to need a point guard till you solve the point guard problem. But I'm not mad. Like I said, I was going to take a step back. I wanted to see what happened. He got hurt. I wasn't going to blame that on him. He's put in the work. He's getting bigger. He's getting stronger. He looked in summer league. He looked good. I want to see more in the regular season. I have faith that he can play better, and I think he could be a solid NBA player. I don't know if he's going to be an all-star or superstar, but I think he'll be a solid NBA player that you can depend on. Like, share, subscribe. If you haven't, comment below. If you haven't, click that bell, get more videos. Like I said, I'm sorry for the way I know it took so long, but like I said, I've been busy. But I holla.